Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again. This is a Tuesday night, and we call it Tokyo Heat with Sonny Onoo. Sonny Onoo will be here shortly on the world's most dangerous podcast, Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray. And I am your host, Stevie Ray. And brother, I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. So many people have been talking to me and sending me messages on social media about this thing, this Dark Side of the Ring episode that aired last week that I watched live, man, and goodness. You know, I've heard that story. What's up, Repo? But in professional wrestling lore back in those days, man, you didn't look at it the way those guys did it in a documentary, man, because when you're in that professional wrestling culture, you don't look at things like from the outside looking in. You look at things from the inside out. You know, Papa Stroh, he'll tell you. My man Papa Stroh, he's watching. He's watching. Stroh, you want to come on and talk about? Stroh, you want to come on and talk about that documentary, bro? Let me know, and I'm gonna send you an invite, bro. I think I still should have you in my computer. I have to look it up and see exactly what it is. Cause man, Papa Stroh, did you see that Dark Side of the Ring, bro? What's up, Matthew? Queen in the house. Brother, people been hitting me for the last, I don't know how many days, asking me what did I think about it. And I'm like, whoo. Last night I was telling the guys, what's up, Calcutta? Last night I was telling the guy, what's up, Leroy? I hadn't, when the documentary started and they had the flight attendant, you know how they do the people at the beginning of the show, I'm so-and-so, better known as so-and-so. I'm Tommy Dreamer. I'm, Jim Ross. And then the lady came up there and said, I'm an airline attendant. Okay, and I'm like, well, okay, what's she doing? Okay, you're an airline attendant. But I didn't know about the backlash. Because, see, the way I look at it, man, she's just like a civilian. You dig what I'm saying? I'm good, Leroy. She like a civilian, man, that got caught up in the crosshairs, man. And that's why then when I seen the whole thing and how they made it like this was an abuse type thing and so on and so forth, man, I was like, Lord Jesus Christ, man. Where do we go from here? Where do we go, man? Because I'm like, but I had heard the story and guys would tell me, hey, Rick was walking around naked with a robe on, man. He was twirling his package around and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's funny, blah, 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 blah. But no, I guess back in the day when I heard the story, I didn't think about all the other stuff because nobody ever brought it up. And frankly, hey, did you read that Ric Flair has been erased from? Yeah, Calcutta, man. I saw that today. Matthew, what you say? Right, the word is to never hurt civilians. Yeah, man. But Matthew, back in the day, man, and Papa Stroh, he listening. Papa Stroh, you know what I'm saying? He's listening. He done heard these stories. We done heard a zillion stories like this. Matthew, in the business. You hear him Matthew, I could tell you some stories, brother, that I heard about them. I can't even bring them up on the show. I can't. Because of the exposed names. And I used to hear this stuff and see the boys laughing about it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not really from this culture where people fuck with people like this and then think it's funny. That just ain't my deal, man. But AJ and Usyk next weekend, Democracy. Next weekend, we gonna see how tough he is. Oh, Matthew, I'm just being honest with you, brother. Some of the stories I done heard, I done forgot about. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. One thing Eddie Griffin said years ago that seems true and truer as I get older. When it comes to the entertainment business, you don't leave that business clean. Yeah, you know something, bro? I never thought about it like that, but I have to agree with him. I really would. I have to agree with him. You know? AJ better bring it, Democracy. AJ better bring it. He better bring the big right hand. Because I'm going to tell you, after this fight, he going to either have to deal with the Gypsy King or Deontay Wilder. No more. Like what did Rocky tell his trainer? What did Mr. T tell Rocky? Oh man, he fighting them setups. You know? Nah, they wasn't setups. They were good fighters. It's my job to keep you winning. That's what Democracy. You know what I'm talking about. What's up, Turkey Blaze? Man, that's why I always looked up to you and your brother. You guys always had so much class and character. I mean, come on, Matthew, brother. I'm not from that kind of, they was handpicked. Democracy, you know what I'm talking about, bro. You know what I'm talking about, baby. It done went on too long. They done saved up enough money. It's time to get down to business. Democracy, you know what I'm talking about, bro. I'm going to be right there, baby. I'm going to be right there. We're going to chop it up next week about that, all right? Serious business. He'll knock you into the Rock. Democracy, they don't even know what we're talking about right now, man. Oh, man. You got me laughing, Democracy. That's funny, man. I hadn't thought about that in a while. But you know what I'm talking about, baby. It's time to put up or shut up. It's time, man. The top 3 guys going to have to get down. It's like a playoff. Like an NFL or NBA playoff, bro. It's time to see who's like Kurt Russell said on the movie The Thing, brother. It's a storm blowing in 4 hours. Then we going to get to see who's who. You dig? I gave him. Mr. T was hilarious. He did a great job, though, man. You got to give it up for him, Matthew. You know what's up now, hey, man. You got me laughing, man. Shit, come on, bro. We know what's going on, man. Rocket versus Union Kane. You know Union Kane was from Houston? I met him a long time ago. His name Mike Williams, something like Mike something. You know, he was a good fighter. Usyk is the real. You know, I know that, Matthew. I know he's the real deal. That's why I'm saying your boy got to look impressive. And then October the 9th, one of them suckers going to have to look very impressive. Winner take all, baby. Winner take all. Whoever wins, you get past Usyk. These 2 guys fight October the 9th. And then I'll say the beginning of next year, we got to see who's who. You know what's up, fan sport. We got to see who's who, man. You know something, Democracy? Do you know that's one of the only, I've only got 2 autographs in my life from people that we know as famous people. You know who they were, Democracy? This is no lie. This is the honest God truth, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to expose it on the show right now. One was the Temptations. When me and Ahmed Johnson used to have our security company, they came to the arena that we worked at. Big fan of the Temptations. And the other one, Democracy, Tommy Morrison. That's a true story. Yeah. Daniel, you think, I think I'm gonna be honest with you. Uzi gives a pit bull, but Joshua should get by him. But we know Joshua didn't. When he came to America, man, he hanging out up there in New York, man, chasing, macking them hoes and shit like that. You don't come to America, man. They got too much bullshit around here. Take your ass back to England and get down with the get down. Don't come over here. This country got too much shit to offer. People come over here and start partying and hanging out. They'll do that to you. Next thing you know, somebody knocking the shit out your ass. When he moved up to beat Buster Douglas, perhaps. But you got to realize, man, that's a big man, dog, with a big right hand. That European style, he fights that European style way better than he fights that American style. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Hispanic kid got in his ass, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't come with that flat-footed bullshit thinking you're going to overwhelm somebody. And then when he had the rematch, what did he do? Bang, bang, hole. Bang, bang, hole. Don't let the man get off because the dude got fast hands. It was what it was. But we're going to get to see. Yeah, he's a big dude, man. I think he's heavier than Matthew. I think he's heavier than 240. I think he's close to 250, 260. He big dude. Big dude. I mean, these guys today, can you imagine, Matthew and Daniel and Democracy? Can you imagine Muhammad Ali and those guys at his time where 212, 215 was heavy? And these guys walking in at 270? 6'6"? 250, 260? That's why I'm always baffled. Like the other day, somebody was put up Micah Thompson, Klay Thompson's daddy, who I saw play back when he was in college, saying that LeBron James wouldn't be able to play in the 80s with a bunch of skinny-ass bench warmers. Come on, man. A man 6'9", 265 pounds that moved like a gazelle. Do you know what he would look like with that slow-ass? People thought the Lakers ran the ball up and down. You see the guys running today, they look like world-class sprinters running up and down the court. Man, come on. People need to stop this. It ain't no such thing as evolution going the other way. Just like these boxers we're talking about. Just like these professional wrestlers that we see with some of these acrobatic stuff that they do today. That stuff was just starting in my era. Now everybody does it. Evolution never goes backwards. Evolution always goes forward. The evolution of man. Yeah. People thought politics was dirty back in the 60s when JFK got killed. Go study politics today. Evolution. Evolution. Back in the day, you need a race car. As long as you had a good mechanic, you could win. You know what you had to have today? An engineer. An engineer who studies everything physical when it comes to a race car now. Every little thing. That's the only way you're going to win. Evolution. It don't go backwards, bro. I ain't trying to take the heart from nobody. I'm not trying to take the desire from nobody. But Secretariat, when I was a kid, 1973, Secretariat won the Triple Crown. Triple Crown. And get this, with no competition. Can you believe that? A horse won the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the other one. I forgot what the other one is. With no competition. Now, if you look at that same horse, and as fast as she ran, she might not even place today. That's how fast the evolution of these horses have gotten. You dig what I'm talking about? Come on, man. Sometimes people just have to let yesterday go. Sometimes you just got to let yesterday go. Like what we was talking about when we started today. Yeah, I would too, fan sport. But come on, bro. That was 48 years ago. I don't know how fast the horse would. How fast would Secretary have been if she had competition, or he? I don't know. Was that a filly? I don't know. I can't remember now. But no, I think it was a male. Come on, bro. That's just what I'm talking about. Time does not stand still, only in your mind. It doesn't. Matthew said, the only athlete I think would be dominating this is with FloJo. I don't think so, Matthew. You know why? The drug testing is different today. Back then, some of the stuff that they was taking, because you got to realize, man, FloJo was just a regular sprinter until the late 80s, and she started running as fast as damn near man. Now, I ain't got nothing against FloJo. I ain't got nothing against nobody. But I know a lot of people that was in track and field. Do y'all remember when I had my boy Stanley Floyd, who used to be a world-class sprinter and married to a world-class sprinter on this show? Y'all remember that? That's one of my very, very, very good friends. He was there, Matthew. So when those Stevie Ray talk about something, I don't do like people on social media, just talk about shit for the fuck of it. Because they heard this or heard that. I ain't got to hear nothing. Brother, I go straight to the sources because you got to realize, brother, I've been running in circles. I've been running in mainstream circles for a long time, way before I got in the wrestling business. It's just the way it is. And I know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you right now, Florence Griffith Joyner was gassed to the gills. Because nobody, you got to realize something. When a person in track and field, but in 1984, she got second or third place to Valerie Briscoe Hooks. And Valerie Briscoe Hooks was the first woman to run and win in the Olympics, the 400 and the 200. She was like a female version of Michael Johnson before Michael Johnson. FloJo couldn't even keep up with her. 4 years later, FloJo run a 21:49 and couldn't even get, 4 years before, she couldn't even get in the 21s. She couldn't even get in the 21s. Now, all of a sudden, you got to realize in track and field, if you can pick up a couple of 100s, a tenth of a second, that's a lot. You telling me a woman go from running 22.2, 22.3 to 21:49, you pick up almost a second? Do you know how far that is in track and field? You ain't never seen nobody do that. Ever. Ever. Come on, man. Oh, she's doing some new training. It's only so much training you can do in any sport. What's up, Punisher? It's only so much training you can do in any sport. But track and field, when you've been running all your life, you just don't pick up a whole second. And you go from, you can't even break 10 seconds in 100 meters. And now you below 10.5. You can't even break 11 seconds. And now you're below. Come on, man. It don't work like that. I ran track, bro. I played football, basketball. I played every fucking thing. It don't work like that. It just doesn't. Unless a person is on drugs. Think about that. So when you say FloJo will compete, no, because the drug testing is way more crazier today than it was back then. Do you know in 1988 when Ben Johnson won the 100 meters? Do you know everybody in that race at one time or another tested positive for banned substances, even Carl Lewis? Yeah. But who got scapegoated? Oh, we know he was on drugs. Yeah, all of you on drugs. Hey, man, guys out there on IG, man. I'm gonna have to get ready to get off, man. Get the show going. Hey, man, go over to my Twitch channel, Stevie Ray TV, or go over to my YouTube channel, Stevie Ray TV, and you guys can see the rest of the show, man. But I appreciate you tagging along today. But I got to get ready to get out of here. Peace, guys. Yeah. But hey, now I'm not, that drug testing thing, man. I want y'all to go, Matthew, go check this movie I call Bigger. Have you seen the movie Bigger, Stronger, Faster? I was not on drugs, bro. Wait a minute. What you mean? All right, Democracy. I'll holler at you later, man. Punisher, what you mean I was not on drugs? Who you talking about? Yourself or somebody that was in that race? That's what I want to know. You wasn't running no how. Who you talking about? Matthew, I want you to go check this movie I call Bigger, Stronger, Faster. And the guy, that's what the movie is about. It's a documentary. And this guy chronicles a whole bunch of stuff that you wouldn't know about. And I met this guy. I met him down in Louisiana at my boy's, Punisher. I was doing a wrestling show down there a few years ago. And he was down there. He's friends with the guy, my boy Luke, that was putting the show on. And, we had a real good conversation, but I had seen this movie, but I knew everything he was talking about. I already knew, but you ought to check it out, Matthew. Any of you guys out there that's listening to me right now. And the movie is called Bigger. You can pull it up on YouTube, I think. It's called Bigger, Stronger, Faster. Seriously. And he chronicles all of this stuff, bro. He chronicles all of it. And it's very interesting. I even got the book. No, not the book. He gave me another copy of the CD, but he didn't realize I had saw it before. And I think it's still in the package, man. It's still in the package that he gave them. He gave me a copy. But check that out, man. Bigger, Stronger, Faster. But if you can't remember that, I don't know what to tell you. Bigger, Stronger, Faster. That's what he's talking about. But now, dog, at the end of the day, FloJo, she wouldn't be able to compete with these girls today, man. I'm serious, man. She wouldn't be able to compete. If you remember all those East Germans and those Eastern Bloc countries back in the late 70s and early 80s and all them records and stuff they was breaking, then all of a sudden when the drug testing changed, them women couldn't run worth a crap no more. It's hard to beat the American sprinter. You're right, Punisher. It's hard to beat the American sprinter, men or women. And them Eastern Bloc, first of all, those people in that part of the world are just not that genetically gifted. Let's be honest. You just don't come out of nowhere and start running times people ain't never ran before, and you got big thighs and big calves. God didn't make you aerodynamic. He didn't. And as soon as the drugs testing got very, very, because see, back in those days, they called it blood doping. When they would take your blood out of your body and it goes through all these different variables and stuff, in a lab. And then they put that blood back in your body. Yeah. Matthew, you don't think that's, oh yeah, most definitely, Punisher. Most definitely. Brother, they had it down to a T, men and women. Those people are not built to run like that. Genetically, they're not. Genetically, they're just not. Come on, bro. It just don't work like that. Until they start seeing some of the side effects of some of the stuff that was going on back then. Come on, man. Let's be honest. It just don't work like that, man. And like my man just said about the Jamaicans, bruh, I don't put nothing past them either. That's a small country. And maybe, I wouldn't put nothing past them. I'm not saying anything. I'm not trying to throw salt on them or nothing like that. But how does a little country like that all of a sudden just start having the top sprinters in the world? Now, I think Usain Bolt, regardless, I think that's the best sprinter in the world we've ever seen, regardless of anything that's going on. That guy was that good. But I'm not saying anything bad or trying to throw salt on him or nothing like that. I'm talking about that country. That country is about big as Punisher's backyard. For who's never been there. And now all of a sudden these kind of sprinters coming out of there. And the one girl that just won the Olympic gold medal and set a record, she had babies and everything, and then she come back faster? How'd that work? It's crazy. Sonny Onoo is here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been waiting for Sonny for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I've been waiting for him. Now he texts me, and guess what he says? Send me the link. Yeah, that's how he talks. Yeah. Send me the link. I sent him the link. Jamaica have a deep culture. Yeah, they do, man. Going all the way back to Don Quarry, going all the way back to Lennox Miller. Lennox Miller, who ran with O.J. Simpson in 1968. Don't tell me nothing about these Jamaicans. I know all about them. But ain't no Jamaicans dominated like they doing now. None of them. Every other year, one of those Jamaicans are one of the fastest guys in the world, if not the fastest guy. And the women have just blowing everybody off the lot. Come on, man. How many poking beans and rice can you eat? How many?
Well, you giving people a problem by eating rice? What do you mean,
on,
man?
Sonny.
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
You hear me now?
Can you hear me? Hello? My shit's on.
Right.
That means you can hear me? Is that what this means? Turn on your friggin' mic. Quit
I think I got a glitch in it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You can't hear me?
I hear you fine.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Quit using them. Yes, I can. Quit using them
Okay, cool.
American product.
What do you want me to use? Japanese products?
Absolutely.
Sonny, we've been having some discussions here. I had my Instagram guys following me here, and I had the gang. The gang been asking me questions. We done went from. I tell you what we started.
I was not on that flight.
I know you wasn't. Neither was I. But we started talking about that whole situation on Dark Side of the Ring last week. Now I know last week you were at a comedy fest with Mick Foley to the point where you don't even come and do the show.
Well, yeah, you know who's more important.
Mick Foley, apparently. He probably didn't even get he probably didn't even get you good tickets.
No, he did.
He did. That's what you tell me.
Was VIP $75.
And he gave them to you, or you had to buy them?
Listen, man, my name is Sonny Onoo. I know. Hey, Booker, can you give me some tickets? I don't have to do that.
Well, I'm not paying those $75 to see Mick Foley.
No, you probably, I could get you tickets.
I don't even know if I want, other than him being a friend of mine, I don't even know if I want to go see him.
No, actually, it was good because really his stand up is about us
Wrestling,
back in the
yeah,
days. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
and all the fan comes in and asks, and it's not like a comedy.
yeah. I
It's
know,
funny,
I know.
but
Did he tell the one about in Germany when he got his ear ripped off?
yes, but he also he told me what your brother said to him after he came back behind the curtain.
What did he say?
He actually mentioned you guys.
What did he
Harlem
say?
Heat. He said that was one of the first time you guys won a row with
Right.
to Europe.
Uh huh.
He said, well, those Harlem Heat, they're like real dude. They're tough and from the street, And he's talking on about your brother and you, and he goes, but he said when I came back from behind the curtain, my ears ripped off. He said, they looked at me, and I said, because you guys were concerned. He goes, hey man,
Right.
you okay? He said, no, I'm fine. Then he did bang bang. He said, that's what he said. He said, you guys looked at him and says, man, I think we're not strong enough for this business. Couldn't believe the guy got his ear ripped off,
I remember.
and like he was no selling it.
Yeah, I mean, he pulled his hair back because he had a lot of hair.
Yeah.
His hair real curly back then,
Right,
and he did this.
and the ear's gone.
Yeah, and then what's his name? Gary Michael Capetta.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary Michael Capetta comes back in the dressing room saying, I think he found his ear out there and he brought it in the dressing room.
He said he had it in his hand, arm extended, ran back to the back.
Yeah. I said, hey, man, here go your ear, man, if anybody looking for it. I'm like, God damn.
What a tough business.
Oh, my goodness, man. This was crazy. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was like, because he pulled his hair back, his ear was gone. I remember my brother looked at you like, man, I don't know if this is the business for us, man. You know what I'm saying?
He actually told that. He actually said that. He says, Booker T says to you, he goes, I don't think we're tough enough for this business.
Brother, he wasn't even selling it, man.
I know it.
He wasn't
said
even
he
selling
did
it.
his catchphrase. He was Cactus Jack then. So he said he came back and talked to you guys and went, bang, bang.
He did.
Oh,
Yeah, you know what? You want to know what me and my brother was really thinking?
no, okay.
We was like, bro, this white boy crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we were thinking. Like, we didn't know him very well, even though we had talked
yeah.
in the dressing room, but we were still new. You know what I'm saying? We were still like rookies. And, bro, I was like, this dude here. It was one thing when we seen him driving one day in his car going to a show and it's pouring down raining, and I think he had a convertible. He was making a shot, but the top was down. The top had stopped working.
God.
The top had stopped working. He's still getting to the show, man. I'm like, this, okay.
Yeah, he's a little
I mean,
off.
this is, oh, man. Oh, my God.
Well,
man. That brings back.
and Mick and I talked about it, not on the show, but we talked about it. Eric, people ask Eric, why'd you let Mick go,
Mm-hmm.
He asked Mick over and over and over, he says, look, you can't keep doing that crazy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Can't keep gigging and, because every time he was on, went in the ring, he was, bleeding from somewhere.
Right.
So it says we're Turner. We can't really be doing that. And Eric was worried about the liability issue,
Right.
And I talked to Mick about it. Mick said, yeah. He said, it says I got, I told him I was, gonna leave.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the thing was, I said, he said to me, he goes, no, nobody asked me to stay. Nobody could make a counter.
Right.
But he went over there and kept doing those crazy stuff, falling off 3-story buildings.
Well, that's the thing, man. That was the difference between WWE and WCW back then. Vince knows how to make people an intricate part of the show. WCW never knew how to make people an intricate part of the show. They
But
were thinking about wrestling more than entertainment instead of trying to mix it together. Now, they did years later. They did try to do that years later, but Vince was doing it way before
yeah,
then.
Mick,
So
Mick did say though when he went over there, they
mhm.
really weren't sure quite what to do with him,
Well, that's
and and,
understandable.
and he said that he says the mankind gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
He says all the guys, the bookers and the agent will say, hey, we got to get him something else,
Mm-hmm.
get him
Mm-hmm.
out of Cactus Jack, or get him
Mm-hmm.
his new persona. And he says the do love thing and the mankind. He said the Vince told him, he says, okay, all right, we're gonna give him a chance, but he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be, we're gonna put him under the mask because
Right.
I can't see his face, and
Right.
he can only use brown. He
Mm-hmm.
can only be brown,
Right.
brown
Right.
mask.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well, well, what I'm talking about, I'm really not talking about him per se.
yeah,
I'm not talking about him per se. You look at everybody that left WCW, where they
yeah,
was some mid-card guy that was overshadowed by the guys doing their own gimmicks, okay?
yeah,
Doing their own gimmicks and running their own angles and stuff like that. You look at all of them. They went to WWE and became megastars.
yeah.
All of them.
Most of them did. Most of them did. I mean,
I mean, you look at Benoit,
yeah,
you look at
Eddie,
Cactus, you look at Cactus Eddie, you look at Steve Austin, you look
yeah,
at all these guys
yeah,
that left WCW and went up there. Even Too Cold, when he went up there at Flash Funk, that didn't
yeah,
get off, but it had way more focus on it than a Too
right,
Cold Scorpio type thing. What I'm
right.
saying is that these people just knew
No,
how to
they are
take,
better. I agree.
yeah, how to take talent and make people. Ron Simmons, Undertaker,
Yeah.
Chris Jericho. I mean,
Oh
the
yeah.
the
Oh,
the
list
list
goes on.
the list goes on, and all these guys in WCW, they was just looked at as regular talent. But that's where the mindset of being not so much as we all know it's professional wrestling, but certain people have a knack when it comes to entertainment and
Yeah.
what to give to people
No, I
and how to
agree.
do that. That's an art form within itself. And like we got new writers and stuff like that, but even the writing is one thing. Those are the storylines. But getting those gimmicks over, that takes some work, man. That takes some work.
I just got back from Tampa. I was at
The hell you doing in Tampa?
I had some business.
I know that. I want to know what business.
I I was in Clearwater. It was Hulk's bar.
Hulk.
Yeah.
What you doing down there?
I had some business, man.
Ray Mysterio, my boy's right. Yeah, what kind of business? Let us know. That's what the show is about. When I go out, I tell people everything I did.
Well, I ran into and met up with Jimmy was in Memphis working, so I missed Jimmy.
Jimmy,
But
don't he run the ball?
No, they used to have a place together in a hotel, and
What happened with that?
well, I think they got kicked out of there a couple of years ago. And Hulk had this nice building and a corner lot, but it took him 2 years to get their liquor license and all that stuff. Now it's been running. It's really good, kind of indoor outdoor kind of place.
Uh-huh.
Their liquor wasn't too strong though, so we
You
had to
telling
order.
me he got liquor that should have been took off the shelves?
Yeah, so we had to ask for double all the time. 'Cause
Oh,
he's
Lord.
a little weak.
Yeah,
But anyway.
because liquor got a shelf life. It's not like wine.
Oh,
I
okay.
came up working in clubs. You didn't know that? Liquor got a shelf life.
No, I didn't.
After a certain time, yeah. You ever seen people in a bar? I don't know if you ever paid attention to it, but I used to work in bars. And you will see after they get to a certain area, they take a little thing and mark it. They take little things and mark it. Liquor
No.
has after liquor has been on the shelf for so long, they're supposed to turn it back in and get rid of it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I'm not in the bar business. Don't know.
Because this is the thing, brother. Bad liquor can actually make you sick, Sonny.
Oh,
Now, see,
So
wine, on the other hand, the more it sits up, the better it gets.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, wine. I knew that. I mean, you age a wine.
But liquor, no, you got a shelf life. If it ain't sold by such a date,
Okay.
get rid of it, or it tastes like Hulk Hogan's liquor.
So,
You don't need
but
a double. You need a new bottle.
oh, okay.
That's what you need.
You need a fresh bottle.
You need a fresh bottle. Have you ever noticed when you go into certain high-end restaurants, and I know you have, I know you and your wife have been to high-end restaurants all over the place.
Yeah.
And you get a drink, and it tastes fresher than any drink you ever had in a
Yeah,
in
you
a
know
bar.
what? You're right on that.
You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Now, how would a Ray Dog know that?
Well, I guess you were in that business.
That's right. And see, if they get caught with that stuff, they could be in trouble. That's why you get liquor like that, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms is over that shit, and they come in and check your bar every now and then.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But so I'm at the Hogan's place.
Okay.
Have a meeting. Galen.
Who?
Galen.
Who's that?
Standards in practice from WCW 20 years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now we're getting down to the real nitty gritty.
Oh my God! Did he?
Yeah.
He. You know what? I gotta tell you, he
Okay.
didn't have a kind thing to say about you, buddy.
Russo?
Yep. He said.
Oh.
He said, "No, I'm telling you this
Okay.
out of his mouth."
Okay.
He said, he said he would come up with an idea.
Uh-huh.
He said, "No, we can't set the school bus on fire with a Mexican in it. We have to check that off." No,
Okay.
no, Vince, we can't do that. Him and Ed Ferrara will come up with the idea. No, you know what? Where you guys getting this stuff? Didn't you see the news? He would say to him.
Uh-huh.
He goes, remember a few years ago, 20 years ago plus year, how they dragged a black man behind some town way down south, dragged a black man.
Right, about 100 miles down from about
Okay.
close to 100 miles from Houston.
Yeah, dragged him with a chain.
Yeah.
Remember behind the car?
Yeah, I went down
truck.
there. I had my company had to take some stuff down there. I said, "Hey, man."
One time they came up with an idea. They want to drag Goldberg or somebody behind the truck with a chain.
Hey, that sounds good.
They said no.
That sounds good. Didn't back in the Western days the guys would throw the rope on the guy and drag him behind the horse? Remember that? Maybe they didn't do that in Japan. They did that back in the West here in America.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did in Japan. They probably.
Yeah.
You remember that? So why can't they do that with Goldberg?
And they wanted to. So they said no because that incident had happened.
Right.
In the real life.
My man just said James Bird. Yeah, that's his name, James Bird. Yeah, they matter of fact, they got a law that sparked a whole law here in Texas.
Well, Russo wanted to reenact that in wrestling, so he said no, we can't do that.
With a truck or a horse?
So they said another one. I wrote it down. Another one they said was remember Lady and Lodi when they had that gimmick.
Yeah.
They said they wanted to they come up with all kind of stuff out. They were like,
Wait a minute. Let's back up.
Yeah.
Let's back up, Sonny.
Yeah.
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Now, from one man's insight, my own, okay, I frankly don't really see anything wrong with these angles and gimmicks.
Well, he remember this is standard practice.
Right.
He said, I just, and he was explaining all the stuff to me. He says, look, first of all, you have to understand, my job is watch the current event, and make sure we're not, doing like dragging people behind.
Now, who's saying this? Hogan?
No, this is Galen. Galen, the guy from standard practice.
Oh, the guy from Galen. I'm trying to think. Do I know him?
Yeah, when I saw him, I recognized him.
Okay, because I don't.
Yeah, he was
his name.
he was an attorney for
Okay.
Assigned just for us,
Okay.
But he didn't come on till like a 98.
Okay.
Late 98.
Yeah, because I'm trying to put a face to that name. But anyway,
I'll send you a picture.
So Galen is the one that's saying. So
no, yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, no, you can't.
What's his last name?
I'm gonna give you a spelling. Hold on.
Because I got to do the show. I think we're doing the show this Thursday.
You should get him on your show. I'm telling you, this guy is full of stuff.
Oh really?
Oh my God!
I got to hear this.
Where's Galen?
Galen. I got Galen. What's his last name? I don't want to forget this. And I'm gonna have my boy shoot him an email. Did you get his email? Did you get his info?
Yeah, yeah.
We can
Chandler. Yeah, I do have his email. Chandler. Galen Chandler. WCW Standard and Practice.
I got it. Okay.
I'll text you his contact.
Okay, cool.
Now, if you want to have Q&A session, that's the guy to ask, because he knew. So he had to say, no, we can't do that. Yeah, he's not, and I can tell you honestly, I won't quote what he said.
Okay.
But he's not a fan of Vince or Ed Ferrara. Because where he didn't care. He wouldn't eat, but everything he was coming up with mostly shock stuff,
Shock and awe.
Yeah. And matter of fact, he went in length about talking about, you remember when Jeff Jarrett just did a podcast, his podcast, talked about standard practice.
Okay.
He was going to hit the guy over the head over standard practice with the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff says, hey, I can't do that. That's a lawyer.
Right.
That's when they came up with, if you remember this, they came up with a character, a tag team named Standard and Practice.
Right.
Harris Brothers.
Wasn't the Harris Brothers?
Harris Brothers.
Okay.
And Miss Hancock was like like a lady with a notepad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And but yeah, if we can't hit the real guy.
Yeah, we hit the phony guys.
We'll call them Standard Practice and we'll go after them. But even that gimmick didn't last more than, maybe
Right.
months at tops. Mm. So his thing was, he comes up with these ideas, but nothing was really longevity. It was shock and awe. It's just like,
But Russo explained to me that everything, they kept coming to him talking about the ratings. We got to get the ratings up and this, that, and the other. So I'm
sure, yeah.
They had him under the gun.
Sure.
And he said he was trying to tell him, you just can't do this, that, and the other. And I try to explain stuff like that to people on this show many times. Yeah. Ratings ain't just about who's on television. It's about how good the show is. So if somebody's got a gun to your head saying get the ratings up and they putting everything on you, not that I'm trying to cover for Vince or nothing like that, but I do understand what he's talking about because I understand this business.
I do as well. I understand.
Yeah.
But
then he started doing all kind of crazy stuff.
Right.
To try to get the ratings to go up, but the thing is,
and they said, "Hey, you can't do that.
It just don't work like that.
You can't set the school bus on fire." Oh, another one he told me.
Wait a minute, the school what now? You said the school bus was going to get blown up or something like that?
No, he was going to set it on fire. School bus.
Okay.
With Mexican in it.
What Mexican?
The luchadors.
All of them?
Well, some of them. I don't know who. But that was an idea.
Were you in that bus?
Well, I'm sure he would love to have me in that bus because that was the one when I'm sure this was when the lawsuit was still going on. Probably wasn't. It would be good. It would be good for their lawsuit.
This.
And you know what else he told me?
I'm about to pass out, man. I'm actually about to pass out. I'm about to faint right now. I'm laughing.
You know what else he told me?
What's that?
This is the Turner attorney now.
Uh-huh.
He said he volunteered to testify against the company.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he said it to me, he goes, you understand, I work for the company.
Right.
But I was willing to testify against the company, what Russo was doing.
Wow.
So there you go.
Well. I'm going to have to bring this up. I'm going to have to bring this up. Man. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, because
wow.
the whole thing going to be on the dark side.
They're doing an episode?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man, I was just to say they should do an episode.
Oh, my God.
This needs to be put out there.
I'm sure they'll come out and ask me.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'm going to have to get him on the show, man. Because I don't know if Vince is going to open up. Vince is not going to see it the way he see it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course not.
He's creative, so he don't see. By the mere fact that he wanted to do this stuff, he didn't think nothing was wrong with it. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Well, look at, look. You might find this funny that I'm going to defend Vince right now.
What's that?
But in defense of Vince, think about the Law and Order, the TV show,
Okay.
longest running TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, think about that show. What
Okay.
is their? They have a disclaimer right at the beginning. It says, this is fictional and this and that, but almost all their storylines are ripped right out of the front page.
Oh yeah, and
They're
they
made
just.
of.
But they
yeah.
can take real incidents and write them into TV stories. That's
Right.
art.
They just change the name. Yada. They can do that.
make it about something this way. Sound
So
like you
in
Turner didn't
defense
like
of
the
Vince,
situation.
I can see, it's current event, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's write it into that story, right? Yeah, but remember Columbine? You remember Trenchcoat Mafia?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently that was another one. They go, no, we're not doing that.
Oh wow. So this guy, Galen, was
Yes.
at the Hogan bar.
Yeah, I met up with him. We met there.
Okay.
We had some business to do. So.
Dude needs say Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff with millions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bernie stole billions, baby.
Yes.
You got to realize that. Bernie said, I ain't playing. I'm taking every dime I can get.
I know. But you know what? He didn't get to spend it. He died in the jail.
This the thing, though, brother. How do you? I don't want to get on Bernie Madoff. That's a whole another show for another day. But anyway, y'all. So, I think we should lobby.
Yes.
Remember, I'm the one that lobbied for the Road Warrior gimmick. Remember?
Yeah.
I never got any other sentiments in putting everything together. What about that, Sonny?
Yeah,
I was never acknowledged. How do you do that? Why you do this to me?
Do you see yourself in the mirror every morning when you shave yourself and trim all that stuff?
Yeah.
You see what color you are?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. What else do you need to know? And he's a wrestler.
So that's what it is?
I'm just saying, who's taking you serious? If you had a good idea, they would have stole it.
They stole all my good ideas. What you talking about?
I mean.
Thieves.
That's what I'm saying. If they had a good idea, they would have stole it.
Yeah, they did. A couple of times.
Yeah, there you go. So,
Thieves.
You should, That's why, think about this for a minute.
But Russo let me do my gimmick with Big T and Cash and myself going against my brother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that wrote that whole thing out. Because I was trying to help my brother get a singles push.
They could have done so much more with you and your brother feud, though.
What I'm just saying, the only thing that kept, the feud had to end because of Ahmed.
I remember now.
Right.
Okay.
That's why the feud ended. And that's when I went to commentary. That's when I went to commentary. Yeah. I had a whole, oh my God, it was all kind of stuff running through my head that I wanted to do. Creative.
Yeah.
Creative.
You should have joined that salt and pepper podcast you do. Should have been doing that like 25 years ago.
I'm just saying, I had all these different things running through my mind, as I do today.
Yes.
And do you know, I let everybody in on something last week when you pulled out of the show to go watch some jokes. Okay, and I talked to everyone last week,
Yes.
and I told them I had a verbal meeting with someone from AEW.
Oh.
And do you know this week, yesterday,
Yes.
no, early this morning, actually,
Okay.
I got an email from someone at AEW.
And he said, "Thank you."
I'm not
for
going to tell
reaching-
you what they said.
No. He said, "Thank you for reaching out."
No.
We don't take any outside.
No. I'm not going to tell you what was said, and I'm not going to tell you what's brewing, because Stevie Ray got all kind of ideas running through his head.
I just got done telling you. You just asked me what were you in Tampa? What was your business? I told you, and now you're gonna come up with
You
that.
told me you went to Hulk Hogan's some motorcycle bar that he got that he couldn't even get a liquor license for.
No, what?
And Galen was hanging out there. That's all you told me.
No. I told her I had a meeting with Galen because we had business.
Oh, okay. But you didn't tell me what business.
Well, I can't tell you that.
Well, no, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Well, when you tell me, you
Oh,
give
no.
Show me yours, I'll show you mine. Mr. Flair, go ahead and touch it. You wanna touch it? Go ahead and touch it. You know you want to. You heard him say it before.
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh man, I feel bad for Rick. Because
Oh.
you knew that all that stuff's coming back to him. I think he
Man.
lost one endorsement deal.
Yeah,
Commercial or something.
I think Calcutta, somebody, Lazy Bum, somebody just asked me, did I hear about it? I'm like, yeah, I read it earlier, man. I'm like, God, he been erased from all the WWE stuff, man.
Well, Charlotte Flair is no longer Charlotte Flair. It's just Charlotte. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, no more Flair. They're not calling her Flair.
Damn.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yep.
Man, when it rains, it pours.
No more Harlem Heat, just Heat. I mean, how do you go? You know what I mean? That you're known as. They just took it. They said, "Yeah, your name is not good here."
God, especially with this Peacock thing. I mean, last night I was reading off all the words that you can't say anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading all the words you can't say. Since Peacock, wow. It's like what I'm saying, people. It's straight television now. It's not pro wrestling.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's straight pro wrestling now. Just Charlotte.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel bad for Rick, because in his mind, I'm sure, he was being himself. And I hate to, I'm not making any excuses. It's not good. It's just that is him. Always been him.
Right.
Right?
Dooney just said a lot of folks thought you joined AEW when I was at the University of Houston show. No, I didn't. But like I told the gang, I am in talks with AEW.
You going to tag up with Mark Henry?
I can't talk about what endeavors we are talking about. I can't. I'm not at liberty to talk about them, but I can tell you this. I got an email today that's very, very promising.
Oh, nice.
And things are moving in the right direction.
Okay.
Yes.
So are we talking money yet?
I'm not at liberty to talk about this in any way, shape, or form. But what I can tell you
Yes.
is that a email was sent to Stevie Ray today
Somebody hack into that account.
at 7:30 a.m.
They do need a good announcing team, they do need a good color guy. No pun intended.
Yeah, you just called me colored.
Color commentator.
You just told me, you called me a colored boy.
Where the boy comes
Yes,
from?
yeah. You just, you just called me a colored boy. That's what you just said, didn't you?
No, the black color commentator. That'll work.
That's not what you said. You said they need a colored one. That's what you said.
Color one.
That's what you said, man.
Well, I don't know. You might be, they might want something lighter, like, Asian color, yellow color, as we're known as, yellow race. I don't think I'm that yellow, but I don't.
Where did that come from? Calcutta, look that up for me, man. How did people from that part of the world become the yellow man?
Yeah.
And how did the Native Americans become the red man?
Yeah, because actually American Indian, and they think the American Indian came from Asia,
Right.
to North America.
Right.
So so that's why there's a lot of like up in Alaska, the Native Indians up there,
Right.
the Malamutes.
Yeah.
They look very Asian.
They're close to Asians. Even do you know a lot of people in that part of Russia, that northeast part of Russia, that's close to China? A lot of those people look Asian.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And they're Russian.
Yeah.
But don't be calling me colored boy. That's all I'm saying to you.
I did not call you a color boy. I did call you
You
color.
did, man.
No, I said
You
color.
had to catch yourself.
No, listen.
You had to catch yourself.
No, you can't put a word in my mouth. I said color. Color.
And then why did you say no point intended?
I said color commentator. I had to pause there for a minute.
My boy Punisher said that's because the white man named him that.
Yeah,
he did. I'm like, where did he get this? Where did the white man get this shit from? Just put a tag on anybody,
Well, color commentator, I'm sure it comes from somebody who enhanced what's going on, and as a commentator, he have no intention of race.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. I think that they had some racial undertones.
Well, can you be a white guy and be a color commentator? It's not.
No. Because come on, man. You got to have some kind of melanin.
Well, Bobby Heenan was a color commentator.
He had no melanin.
I know, but he was still a color commentator.
He wasn't color.
No, but
I was color.
Can I get some more cream in my coffee, please? It's getting awful dark in here.
Disco Swayze says stir fry rice is yellow. Hence yellow rice boy. I don't know. I don't know where that came from, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I can tell you, and I have said this to you before, the term of derogatory term.
Hold on a second. Matthew just said something. Can you be a white guy and be a color commentator? It's probably the funniest thing I heard through. No, you just can do color. You see what I'm saying, Matthew? No. He does color. That's all he does.
Well, as I was going to say,
the
derogatory term gook that came out of Vietnam War,
and
I told you this before.
You did?
Because the kids would come up to GI and would say, me gook.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Me gook means give me.
Oh, okay.
So
I always wondered where that came from.
GI will go, Oh yeah, you gook, yeah,
Ah,
and thus the term gook
hmm,
came into
I
our
always want to know because
American vocabulary as
you would
derogatory terms.
you would always see that in movies and stuff like that.
As
You know
by
what I'm
the
saying?
way, it was put up on my deposition 20 some years ago that one of the attorneys, as we know, you
Mm-hmm.
and I know, call me call me yeah, I'm hiding from that gook.
Really?
Oh yeah. That
Oh
was in
my
the
goodness,
deposition.
man. No, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
That's new. That's I didn't know that.
And of course I was going like, well, thank you very much.
Well, hold on a second, bro. Galen Chandler.
Yes.
What is he doing nowadays?
He freelances for a lot of what he told me was what he worked at various other corporate company because he was a Turner attorney, one of the Turner
Mm-hmm.
attorney.
Right.
But he does like event coordinating,
Mm-hmm.
planning, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing he does. But with this COVID thing, thing has kind of moved him around.
So how is the Hogan Bar? What's the Hogan Bar called? Just in case I go to
Um,
Tampa. What's that place called? What's some motorcycle hangout?
no, it's Hogan something. I forgot.
Wait a minute, Daniel just said something. Let me see what he's saying. Stevie, are you correct about natural evolution? You still have people walking around who believe that Larry Bird was a better all-around basketball player than Dirk Nowitzki. You know, in a lot of ways, for his time, yes, he was. But you got to realize how big Dirk Nowitzki was. He's almost 7 feet, and he can shoot the ball from damn near half court. I don't know who's better. I don't really like to get caught up in these games about who's better
Yeah,
because
that's tough anyway.
the game has changed so much from a Larry Bird era to a Dirk Nowitzki era. Dirk was a great basketball player though, but Larry handled the ball a lot. You know, Dirk really didn't. He played that post and he could shoot from that post, and that was pretty much his game. But anybody that believes that, I mean, you could go round and round talking about people that are better than other people. Some people from that era, like I look at Skip Bayless every morning, and he says, "No, this is no lie," and I know he believes this. And I know he's trying to put it in like he's doing shtick, but
Yeah.
but he says that there's no argument that Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. Okay. If they both played the same position, which they didn't. If they both was asked to do the same thing, which they didn't. If both of their games mirrored one, you mirror your image in the 80s and early 90s, mine in the 2000s to the present. It's a lot of things that Michael Jordan did better than LeBron James. But it's a lot of things that LeBron James does better than Michael Jordan. He was asked to do more, and he could put a team on his back and carry them to a championship. It's only two people I've known can they do that, and that's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and LeBron James. He can play the one.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. He can play the one. He can play the two. He can play the three, and he's played the four, and he's played the five. And when his career is over, this is why I say LeBron James is a better athlete than anybody I've ever seen. At 36 years of age, I was still in the running for MVP. How many people has done that in professional sports? Other than a Tom Brady that plays a position where you can't touch him. In basketball, how many people were in their late 30s and still considered the best in the game?
Yep. You're
Think
right.
about that. Think about that.
Yep.
Even though he done slowed down, but you can't tell. You can't tell if he done slowed down.
And when you it's so hard, who was better. I mean, the game is different.
Yes.
The human being has almost evolved to it.
Well, that's what we was talking about earlier. Evolution does not go
Right.
forward or sit still, it evolves.
Right. And not only it's no different than trying to compare 67 GTO versus the suspension, the
A
car.
modern day. I
Yeah, it's
made
a
that
whole.
comparison. I used
Yeah.
that analogy, Sonny, if you had came on the show when you were supposed to.
I
I
haven't.
used that analogy. This
Okay.
is what I said. I said back in the day in auto racing, because people know I'm a big auto racing fan. If you had a good mechanic, you would be competitive and win races. Now you have to have an engineer, a few of them.
Yeah.
An engineer. He's not a mechanic. He's an engineer. He knows
Yeah.
everything about science to make this car go faster.
Yeah.
A mechanic is just a mechanic. A engineer is
Right.
something this is a guy that knows things that comes out of, NASA to make this
Yeah.
car get around this track better and faster. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Because the rules have changed. The rules have changed. The engines are pretty much spec engines now. The bodies are pretty much spec engines now. I mean, spec bodies and the chassis. So what is the difference now? How can I get speed out of this car? I got to go to somebody that's
Right.
got it up here more than the next guy to make what
Right.
you got the same thing I got, Sonny. So I can't
Yeah.
get that big advantage on you unless I got somebody smarter than your guys.
Right.
That's evolution of auto racing.
Yeah.
The evolution. You know?
Right.
Tom Brady must have copied his style from MC Hammer. I don't know what you mean by that. Other than the fact, no. Only reason I say stuff about Tom Brady is that you play a position, whereas you can go older and still be competitive. But if you played back in the days of Joe Montana,
Yeah.
anybody see what Leonard Marshall did to Joe Montana in that championship game that year? I think it was 88. No, 90. No, it might have been 86. I can't remember now. Anybody see what Leonard Marshall did to him? Put him on the critical list damn near. And it's not a flag. If you got a uniform on, it's open season on your ass. If I get a shot on you, I can take it. Whereas now, if I look at you too hard, 15-yard penalty. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They protect the quarterback, which is cool, but I'm just saying, you see Drew Brees played at 42 years old. You see Tom Brady playing at 44 because you can't touch him. And as long as they keep themselves in shape, they can go. But that is what it is, guys. When I'm talking about evolution of professional sports, you cannot take a person from this era and put him on a season of the time tunnel and he goes back to the 80s. No, it don't work like that.
Yeah.
Don't work like that, man.
So Stevie, what I was in Tampa, Clearwater, taking care of some business.
Yeah, business.
And what did you do this weekend?
Oh, this weekend? What did I do?
You don't go to clubs or nothing no more, huh?
No, not really. Sports bars more than anything.
Yeah.
I don't really go to clubs. I go to sports bars, stuff like that. What did I have to do? I had a bunch of running around to do, but I didn't get home till late Saturday night. I had a bunch of run, and then my cousin was in town. The Barrett Jackson was here this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Barrett Jackson was here this weekend.
You went to that auction?
No, I didn't, man, because I didn't get a chance because I didn't get. Well, I had to do my radio show Saturday, and I was doing a bunch of stuff before I went to the radio. Then I had to do some stuff afterwards. So I didn't. By the time I got through, I was just tired, man. And my cousin, you have to go. You got to go early. You can't go late. You got to go early, man, to see the good stuff on Saturdays. Because Saturday was the last day.
Oh, okay.
I
thought maybe you'd be out with Lenny and Lodi or something.
My boy said I stood him up for a bike ride. I didn't talk to you, Punisher. I can't even remember now. I can't.
Boy, are you getting that old? Are you getting that old?
Yeah, I tell you what I did do. I went to the gym late because I was Punisher. I was on my motorcycle because I rode my motorcycle to the radio show, and then when the radio show was over, I started running around on my bike, and I had workout gear on, so I went to the gym late. It was nighttime, and I had to run a few errands. So I put all my stuff in my bags, and then I went over my homeboy's house. After that, it was about between 7 and 8, and then I went home, and it got dark. And man, I walked in the house. I was starving, and took a shower, and that's the last thing I remember. That's the last. Because it was kind of warm that day down here. It was kind of warm. That's the last thing I remember. My cousin was saying he was going to come by, but he never did. So I don't know what happened to him. But he stays in Austin now, so I think he went home the next morning. He called me. He went home the next morning.
Okay.
So the next day I was just ready for football, man.
You know,
And get this.
Yes.
I got a meeting.
AEW?
I got 2 meetings.
Damn.
With some podcast guys Thursday. And I got another meeting Friday with another radio station here in town.
Nice. So
And I told you about the email. Did I tell you about the email?
The AEW email?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it about 5 times.
Oh, okay. Just in case. I didn't know, sometimes I ramble, man. So,
I know. But I did include you in my business this weekend.
Really?
Yeah. Matter of fact, you're one of the commodity that I purchased. That involves you.
I thought that was over with. I thought you couldn't purchase people like me anymore.
No, they're not people. You likeness,
Wait a minute, bruh. Likeness?
Yes. Yeah,
What happened
I got my hands on
The Walking Dead? And my boy said, what happened to the
What
what happened to the Walking Dead cameo? I never said I was going to be on The Walking Dead.
Well, I
Now,
could probably hook you up because you know who does that stuff, right? Who does the makeup for that, right?
Who?
The guy who used to do our FX stuff, Andre Freitas
Oh, really?
in Atlanta. Yeah, he does all
I
that.
didn't know that.
He
Boy,
been making
that dude was good, man.
he been making living off that thing.
Oh, my goodness, man.
But no, I did purchase not one, two different Stevie Ray original WCW 8x10 promo pictures.
Okay.
They were 2 for 1. They were bargains, so I got it. No, actually, I got it because I really, I said, hey, I do podcasts with Stevie Ray, so I said, I know they were a little stiff, but I bought them anyway.
Okay. I also had a meeting with a friend of mine, and we are throwing around Russo-cade.
Oh.
In November.
Yeah, November 27th.
And that's what I wanted to talk with you about.
Yeah, I was supposed to go there, and I was still in negotiation. I don't know if I'll be there. I was supposed to go there and manage La Parka on a show, actually.
On a wrestling show?
Yeah, well, yeah, on the show itself on 20. They have a show like every day. Mm-hmm. They have a show like sometime twice a day. Well, Saturday is the big show.
I might be bringing myself in.
Well, we were there. Remember 2 years ago when Muda was there? Remember you were there? You were doing you were doing commentating.
Right.
Were you doing color or commentating?
I don't remember.
I don't know. But I remember walking by you and saying a couple things, and you kind of shit on me. Do you remember that? You were on the wall to the left.
Sonny, I'm working. You mind?
Yeah. I think that's what you said. I think that's what you said.
No, but I might be setting something up, and I think it might be good for you and Kat and myself.
Okay, because I came up there and said, "Hey, where's your brother?" And you said, "I'm working here." Something like that. I was going up there with the Muda. That was 2 years ago. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But hey, man, Sonny, I think we had another great show, man. Even though you came in late, people got to hear
No,
about
that's
some of.
what time I usually come out anyway. About 25 after.
No, it's not. You know,
Yeah.
people got to hear some of your endeavors that you're doing
Yeah.
with standards and practicing.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get all three of us on the show together.
Oh man.
We're going to get all three of us on the show together, and we're going to lay it down for some of the people out there, so they can hear this.
Yeah, because we might have to bring Cat on too, because he
Oh,
always claimed
we don't need no Cat on here.
He said we're so racist on this show.
I don't want no racists on my show.
Well, standard and practice will certainly tell us if we are being racist.
He don't even know.
Oh yeah, he does.
He probably had to get information from somebody when the thing went down.
So can I say color commentator?
Yeah.
That's okay, right?
But that's not what you said. You said a colored ED. That's what you said. That's why you caught yourself.
No, man.
That's what you said, dog.
Yeah.
See, if it wasn't me, I would have been offended.
If it wasn't you, you'd be offended? Is that what you said? Okay.
Yeah, but if I didn't know you.
Yeah. Well,
If I didn't know you,
Yeah.
You had to catch yourself. I'm just pointing it out to you, man, because the next dude might not be as cool as me.
Yeah, you might be knocking on my front door.
When you slip up, dog. I'm just trying to help you out, man.
What'd you say, boy? Oh my God! This is way. Ladies and gentlemen, we started out talking about the plane ride from hell. That's a big talk right now in wrestling world.
Right.
But I'm sure that was terrible because there was a lot of liquor and a lot of other things that was involved. But
fresh liquor too.
Yeah,
not that rock gut that you was drinking last weekend.
The one you have to twist the top of the little bottles. They're fresh. You have to put a couple of those in a little cup.
Remember they sent back to the gimmick to get some more on the plane ride mail?
Yeah.
They ordered more.
Oh my God.
But anyway, go ahead and finish, Sonny.
No, what I was gonna say is how we are right now is how we are. Usually when boys get together.
Right.
We're like this. We talk, we josh each other.
Right.
We jab each other, but it doesn't get too serious.
Not like that plane ride from hell. Michael Hayes got his ponytail cut off.
Kurt Hennig and Brock. It could have been really bad. They said they banged on that airplane door.
Yeah.
Those guys,
I think they kind of dialed that up a little bit. To make it kind of scary for the show.
Yeah.
That's what documentaries do,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, it's all really work. They want to.
Because even you, go ahead.
They want to fan the story.
Right.
Because if they would have saw our show tonight,
right.
The minute I mentioned color commentator, they would lengthen that pause a lot longer. They've been colored. And there'd be a commentator going, the time when Sonny Onoo called Stevie Ray on the show a color commentator,
Oh my God! But the door wouldn't open anyway. They bumped into the door, and maybe that door could have came up. What would have happened there?
They would all died.
Hell yeah! At 35,000 feet.
35,000 feet. They would all died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody would have fucking got sucked out of the airplane or either asphyxiated.
Yep.
One or two.
Yeah, they couldn't. Yeah, the oxygen would have dropped, but half the guy was already passed out, so they wouldn't breathe. They wouldn't put that thing on, and they would, Scott Hall be dead.
But Sunday, before we end, this is what got me, and this is what I was telling the guys. When the show came on, and you know how they do, I'm Tommy Dreamer, my name is blah blah blah, and somebody else was like, hey, my name is Eric. What was his name? Another ECW guy used to be
Uh,
Just Incredible. My name is
yeah,
so and so, I'm Just Incredible, blah, blah, blah. And then when they put their flight attendant up there, I was trying to figure out, what does a flight attendant have to do with this?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I was trying to put it together. I'm like, okay, because they kind of explained how, sports
Well,
teams rent these kind of planes,
right,
you know,
true,
and and it's all set up in little sections and stuff like that.
right.
Everything on there is two sections, but you got a, section up here for the big wigs and section back there for everybody else.
Yeah, but all the
And
seats are first class though.
yeah,
They're all
yeah.
big seats. Yeah,
So I'm like, sports teams, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, that's really cool. So I had never, as many of these Dark Side of the Rings that they've done, yeah, Rob Van Dam also,
yeah,
I've never seen one where they take a civilian and put it in it. It was always somebody attached to the business.
yeah.
And
But
then as
yeah,
the show went,
you
and
realize
she
why she
was
was there.
saying, it started to come to me slowly but surely.
Right.
Because I had heard the story and stuff before.
Yeah,
But then I was like, oh, wait a minute. When they said, well, then the guy started saying, then Ric Flair got up, he didn't have nothing on but a robe, and he was doing this and twirling this stuff and this package and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. And then they went to her.
yeah,
And then they really went to her like he had her, in an area where she couldn't come out. You know what I'm saying? How they made it sound.
yeah. She was kind
Like
of pinned against the wall. You know.
Right. Did you hear those words? The words
Yeah,
the adjectives that they were using
yeah,
to describe everything. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Then it hit me. Wait a minute. And I was just saying to myself, man, this might get some backlash. But I was just saying that to myself, the way it was looking, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like kind of disturbed myself when I'm hearing this. Because a lot of times you lose yourself and forget what this is, And I was like, oh, wow. And then the next day, I was like, okay, everybody else thinking the same way I am, man. This is very unfortunate, man, for Rick.
yeah. With Me Too culture now,
Right.
you can dig up this thing from 20 some odd years ago,
Right.
and I'm fortunate because actually I think what was it 30 for 30 did this already. This
Did
been
they?
out there already.
Oh, it's been out there for years. I heard about it years ago.
Yeah, there've been other documentary and other interviews
But
and stuff
but what I'm
about it.
saying is, the 30 for 30 is probably not going to touch the flight attendant thing.
Right.
That was probably the one they did on Rick, where they did a lot of stuff in cartoon. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
But they would leave the flight attendant part out
yeah.
and just leave it a boys type thing. And I think I remember what you're talking about. And like that's why when they went to the flight attendant thing, that's what was throwing me off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we need a flight attendant to talk about what everybody already know? That's what I'm saying to myself.
Right.
But then once I started hearing the verbiage and I started hearing the adjectives and you see how they set that up, and then you look at her face when she started saying so on and so forth, I was like, oh, wait a minute. They're going there.
Yeah.
They're going there. Yeah. Nobody's ever looked at it like that. We heard about this years ago, Sonny. It
Well,
was just
not
something
only
funny.
that, we've seen Rick
Right.
taking his pants off
Right.
at the restaurant, standing on a table dancing.
Right.
I mean, it's not like it's not like the other Ric Flair that we don't know.
Yeah, I guess you're right, bro. But, man, what do you think it's going to go before we get you off today? Where do you think it's going? They've already counseled him in WWE.
Yeah, and I think AEW had a plan for Rick.
What you think has been thrown out there? Because your boy Tommy Dreamer,
Oh,
Impact dropped him the very next day.
not only that, he's losing booking. They're canceling. He's the one. When I talked to Tommy, a couple of years ago, I think same time in New York, and he worked so many shows. He said he worked more
Right.
shows, independent show now
Right.
than when he worked for a company.
Right.
So and the independent shows are canceling his appearance. Um,
Damn.
and I mean, it's a different time. It's a Me Too culture. Um, and you can't you can't kind of endorse
Right.
what he did, and poor Tommy is getting a real backlash of that. And
Yeah,
I
because he talked about it as if one of the boys were talking about it like it wasn't no big deal.
right.
Still, whereas
Well, no,
he didn't know. He maybe didn't know how this whole thing was going to get put together, if you know what I'm saying.
right. You
Because
don't
when you
know.
do the interview, just like you did for the
Oh,
deal
you have
that you
no
did,
idea.
you don't know how the whole thing going to get put
They,
together.
they can edit it any way they want.
Right.
And I think how he came out on the show was that he was
Defending the action
defend
in a
yeah,
lot of
almost
ways.
almost defending an action. Yeah, you're
Right.
right. And when he said, well, don't one of the things that really hurt him, I think, is when he said, well, if they really did happen and she was offended, we should go through the whole lawsuit.
That's right. He did say that.
That's what I think that what really hurt him. People get raped and people get some they don't want to go through the process if they don't have to.
Right. That's
So
true.
they have to relive the whole thing publicly.
But like I said, we don't know if he knew how they was going to put that
No,
together.
no,
So they
that's
could
why.
have they could have asked him a question like, the flight attendant was really upset about that. She was thinking about taking legal action against him. They could have asked him that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But not in the context of how the show went. That's just a question from
Right.
one of the producers during the show.
Yep.
And you give an honest answer. And
Right.
then the way they put it in the damn documentary,
Right.
after everything that went down and what she done said and how they done put it together, now they got your mind. And then you hear that and it's like, oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? They didn't
No,
say,
I feel bad for Tommy.
oh, man, yeah, I saw that, man, the next day.
And I
was
really
like-
feel, to a certain
because
degree.
he was working with Impact.
Yeah, something that
And
happened.
they say
20 years
Impact
ago.
let him go immediately the next day.
Yep. Yep.
Unbelievable, brother. But hey, man, another great show.
Yep.
Another great show. Tomorrow night, I'm thinking about just coming out and talk to the people about the plane ride from hell, and I just want to get everybody's opinion on everything that went down, man. Because I think I'm going to go back and watch it again, man. I think I'm going to go back and watch it again and maybe talk about it a little bit tomorrow. I'm thinking about that.
Well, the big question is on the show right now, today, was Vince was on the show or not? Vince was on that plane or not?
But at the beginning of the thing, they said he was, didn't they?
And some people have said that he was not. He was not on the show. I was not on the plane. And also, they're trying to put a heat on JR too. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Because Kurt got fired, Hall got fired, Six Pac then, and Rick then.
Right.
So what was the reason? Why did
I don't know.
certain
Like you
people
said,
win?
what was the criteria for? Well, when they got to Kirk, they said Vince couldn't put up with his stuff no more. And when they got to Scott Hall, I guess Scott was
Same deal. He
Yeah.
was, yeah.
So, brother, we don't know, but I think it's worth talking about, man.
Yeah.
I think it's
There
worth
you go.
talking about. But hey, man, we got to take you out with some music, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate everybody coming by. That's my '80s music. That is the psychedelic furs. Yes.
Psychedelic.
The
Furs?
psychedelic furs, man. You remember the psychedelic era, brother? You grew up in it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm older than you. I was.
Don't matter. You remember psychedelic, man. You remember the
80s.
lights? You remember the
70s.
lights going on?
Yeah. Well, 80. I was getting. Getting into. I was just getting into discos.
But hey, man, we're going to get out of here. Sonny, appreciate you being on again. Sonny, we're going to make this happen from now on. You don't take no more days off unless you talk to me first.
Man, I can see how you working me like. Well, I better not use that word.
I'm Stevie Ray. This is the world's most dangerous podcast, folks. Sonny Onoo. You know who I am. We are out.